And use these tools. You have all these marvelous tools, which are these really great sounding synths that are sounding much better. Maybe they can't do exactly what John Williams or whoever does, but they can come pretty close. But still, I mean, because Chris really pushed me. I would listen to an episode, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get hired next week because I don't even know how he did that. And I remember you called me once because I like got a bootleg copy of the Hans Zimmer LSO French horn. And remember you called me and you go, where the hell did you get those French horns?
That's right, I did. I said, that's amazing.
And you know, Hans had gone to and done the London Symphony Orchestra, and somebody like slipped it under the table to me, and all of a sudden I had these just like enormous like and it, you know, so we're doing Chuck Norris, he's kicking people for 30 minutes. You know, pretty much French horns play for 29 and a half minutes, you know, whatever it was. Like, listen to other people and be motivated by other people and say, how call them up. You know, I mean, I call other people all the time. Call your players up, if you have real players, and say, hey, can you do this? And they'll say, no, you're crazy. I mean, we all study about, like, clarinet at the break, you know, between A and B flat. And it turns out that's, like, it doesn't matter if you're a good enough clarinet player, you just, like, blow through that whole thing, you know? And so there's these rules that we think we might know that are actually maybe not true. And there are also limitations. Like if you have an ethnic flute player, I'm doing this all the time. I'm calling him up. I go, what key is your flute in? You know, and he comes to the phone, he plays it for me, and I may record it or just like figure out the notes he can play in, and then you're writing to that instrument. You're only hiring one guy, you know, $300, whatever it is, and you're getting this great ethnic kind of cool sound. But don't write it for him in a flat key, I'm sure. Don't write it for him in E flat, I'm positive, you know. So listen to what he can play and you know, all those things.
You can also ask him if you're going to do it. Who are you Chris play?
Using Fred Selden right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you one thing that I did on my last large score, which is like a 100-piece thing.
Wow.
What I did was I had, and actually this was on it was a John Landis movie called The Stupids, which lasted exactly an hour in the theaters. Yeah. I think, no, 45 minutes actually. But anyway, it was a 100-piece thing at Abbey Road, and what I did was I didn't want to use the orchestra as one gigantic Pro Tools rig. To make sure that I can figure out what to do. So what I did was I brought in the first players of each section, and I had them play the parts down. And I also had them put in the bow marks and all the articulations. Because, you know, when you're sitting around the session, you work your ass off getting everything right, and then you go to look at the part after you're done. You take the thing home.
It's got marks all over.
All over the place. The thing looks like, you know, it's like flypaper. Right. And you're going,
pencil marks from the player.
Yeah, and you're going, WTF, man, I spent all this time doing this. Okay, so if you get the guy, you know, your first chair, you know, and not some bum, I mean someone who really knows their stuff. Pay the money, you get him to go over there. Guess what? You saved thousands of dollars. Remember, every time, you know, you sit there and go, that's 1,000, 2,000, 4,000. Oh, pardon me, but it's both full. You've got 1,860, I mean, it doesn't crotch it in 77. But you've got in the full bar, there's a dot missing. What do I do? Get another job. That's what you do.
Right.
You know,
use your brain. Think for yourself.
Yeah. Thank you very much. You know, figure it out. You know.
But what you were saying about it is, so would you look at the parts and see what they were doing as far as like where they would go off the bow on?
Well, after a while, I got it down, and I actually did buy some string instruments just for no other reason, but just to actually go over the bow part, because as you play faster and as you play harder, rather, you use more bow, right? So it really comes
that
well, it really comes down to the articulation, and it comes down to A, where are you in the instrument? You know, in other words, which string are you on, and what are the dynamics, right? So if you're playing really loud, that bow's going to be rocking back and forth like a son of a bitch. But if you're playing, So if you're writing a line going da da dee da 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 dee da 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 da, but you want it to end on a down bow, right? Sometimes you have to start with the up bow because you got X number of notes. Dee da 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 dee da 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 ba da dee da da da. Now if you did this, ba da 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 dee da 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 be da 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 da, right? With the tip. Well, it's going to suck. You know, so it's stuff like that, which, by the way, we're doing automatically in our next round because it counts. It looks.
See, you get into Chris's mind is like how freaking crazy he is about this crap, and you know, I mean how no, and but
what a freak he is.
Yeah.
Can I ask a little more about more on the low budget side? Like, do you use Logic too?
Yeah.
And do you mix it in Logic? You send it to someone? Like, how far along? If you're doing it all in the box.
We do the exact same thing.
I've been talking. My voice is.
Have you been
Yeah, because like
you
I
been
think
mixing
you
in
come
Logic,
in,
or you
you send
mixing
them
in
sounds.
Oh, I mix. Okay, I mix in Logic. So if it's all MIDI, right? So I've got the AI strings coming in, and now they have all their own channels. I got violins, violas, cellos, basses, right? And then I got space on another complete stereo stem. So there, and then I have my different other patches. I have my Giga Studio things. I have my pianos and everything. They're all on some. I hire an engineer, and he comes in, and he mixes the whole deal.
In Logic?
In Logic. I go through TDM. I don't recommend that. But mix it in Logic. Get a really high-grade professional interface. Like the Apogees are fantastic as well. They cost about as much as TDM. Joel's gone totally Apogee right now.
Use antelope clocks.
And it works really good with right now. Apogee's Symphony System and Logic are really melded well, and there's very few bugs between those two. So,
But why does it matter if it's all in the box?
well, because it's all in the box, but it's coming in through light pipe into your Symphony cards, right? So you've got like separate. Let's say you have a PC or you have two PCs that. From AI, those are coming in, or Ethernet, or light pipe, however they're coming in.
Ethernet. We got rid of the light pipe.
I've heard that, but so there's a clocking issue, there's a sonic issue. Is anybody from Mark of the Unicorn here?
Oh no.
Okay, I just feel there's a difference between Digidesign's hardware, Apogee's hardware, and then other hardware. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And I just think there's semi-pro stuff, and then there's Digidesign and Apogee and stuff. And I think that even translates, even though it's supposed to be light pipe, even though it's supposed to sound just kick-ass and stuff, because it's just digital, there's a difference in the way it sounds when it comes into a Pro Tools system or it comes into an Apogee system. It sounds way better.
So you're stemming it down at that point? Do you do a stereo mix to the and get approval?
Well, stemming is a different. What we call stems are different. No, we're mixing it into a mixer. Just think of it as like you've got like a 48 channel mixer. It's the same thing. So I have a 70 channel mixer in Logic. It's all different faders for all my different machines that are coming in. And so then we mix those, we automate it, we compress different things like drums, and we mix it all in Logic. And then, now Joel does it a bit differently. I bounce to disk at that point.
Are you mixing the tracks, controlling the live playback, or are you bringing in printed material and then adjusting the volumes and mixing it?
Do you bounce your virtual instruments? No.
No, I never bounce my Pro Tools instruments. So
you never record your
like I never no, and you don't either,
really
right? Your Giga Studio
so
instrument.
you don't record audio. You don't print the audio.
No.
No, they just playing. They're playing via MIDI, and you mix them only at the final stage.